Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today for Yoga in Our City's virtual studio chair yoga class. I'm Anne. Now, in case you have any concerns, please consult with your medical practitioner when you engage on any exercise program and/or yoga. Now, this is especially important if you are pregnant, nursing, taking medicine, or have any pre-existing conditions. Now, I wanted to share with you some personal notes. Please be reassured that everyone is different. Everyone's body is different. Everyone's range of motion is individualistic. And please try not to compare yourself to anyone else, especially people that you see in the media that may be doing different kinds of exercises and/or yoga. Remember, each of you is coming to the chair with your own set of prior information. Maybe some of you have done some yoga before, maybe not. But be kind to yourself. And the purpose of yoga also is that we focus inside. We're trying to be the best version of ourselves. And the other purpose is as we go through life and as we age, our body changes. And we have to accept where we're at and be very mindful. So, for example, if you have any problems with any part of your body, maybe you have a lower back problem or whatever, when you move into certain movements or asanas, have to be mindful of that. Be aware of it, because we do not want to injure any part of our body. And yoga is such a gift because we always connect the breath with the movement. So, for example, we inhale, extend up, and exhale, coming down. Now, this session, I'm going to emphasize focusing and centering. So, to begin with, I would like to introduce Sitting Mountain. And each of the previous weeks, we've done the Sitting Mountain pose. This is a beautiful foundation because we have to build our foundation from our feet on the ground up to the top of our head. So I'm going to go through Sitting Mountain and then I'll introduce you to some props that we're going to use. So with Sitting Mountain, I'm going to invite you to put your feet on the floor or on the earth beneath you and sink them in. And if you can, my feet are cold, so I have socks on, but if you can, just kind of move your toes, okay, separate them. Even though I have socks on, I can still do it. And raise the toes and lower down. Raise the toes, lower down. Again, raise the toes and lower down. And the heel, the cushiony part of the foot, just again, press down into the floor and or the mat. Then we're going to take our fists and put them together and bring them in between the knees. And this should be the space that your knees are separated. And then riding my hands up my inner thighs, there's this fleshy part. And when I get there, I will notice that this area will allow my pelvis or my hips to be perfect aligned. Now, I'm going to invite you to take your fist again and just turn it. But this time, take the little pinky and put it under the chin. We want the chin parallel to the floor. No hyperextension. Again, it's a very important factor that we do not look way up and stretch out our necks. And the reason being that we have many, many nerves in the back of the neck. We don't want to hyperextend. And the spot to always look would be where the wall meets your ceiling. Do not want to extend beyond that. And as those of you who have tuned in before, I had mentioned that I have arthritis throughout my neck. So I have to be extremely mindful of each movement of my neck. So now visualize right where your belly button is, that there is a zipper that's coming up to the front of the body and at the top of the head, and then traveling back down to the back. Taking your right hand, just move the right cheek, the little fleshy part. You can feel a sits bone there. And then the left, the same thing. Push it up and you can feel those sits bones. And just again, ground your buttocks on your chair. Now moving up, we're going to take our shoulders and bring them forward up to your ears and stretch the shoulder blades back, again, like they're kissing each other. And now you're opening the chest, allowing the oxygen to move beautifully through your physical body. And now to move into the props and the chairs. Now, whatever type of chair you have that you may be sitting on, it's okay. The only thing is you want it to be secure and safe. So I take a mat. This is my space here. I take my mat and I have a chair with very strong, solid legs. And I have it on the mat. And this way it avoids any type of slipping. And when I move to the front of the chair in sitting mountain, again, I want to be safe. So you want to be sure that you feel secure. Okay, you don't want to come way to the edge of the chair and feel like you're falling off. No. Now, going back to props, the next thing is we have blocks. Now, some of you may find that your feet are not touching the floor. So what you're going to use are blocks like I have here. And if you're not in an area where you have these blocks, you can use books. But what you would like is the feet to be comfortable on something solid. Again, you're grounding yourself. Now, sometimes some people use a full box of Kleenexes as long as it's solid, and it won't cave in. So there's all different kinds of props we can use. I also have introduced today, because we're going to be using this at one time. Now, I have a band. Now, some people prefer to use a belt, or I'm going to show you a couple of other options when we move into that particular asana or posture, okay? And I'll go through that. So if you don't have one of these, don't worry. There's no worries about it. We have many other ways to deal with a stretch, like a belt. We don't have to have a belt. We may not have it. So there's other means to use or other props. I also have a blanket here. The blanket is for twofold. Number one, at the end, we will do a scanning. And with the scanning, we'll be doing it for approximately 5 minutes. So the body begins to cool down when we begin to relax at the end. So you may want to use the blanket to keep your body and your mind warm. And or you also can use the blanket and place it, if you choose, behind the chair. So you are still actively engaged in your sitting posture. Now, we've been told sometimes don't sit too long, it's not good for the body. What isn't good for the body is when we slump forward. So we're not actively, our muscles are not actively engaged in our sitting posture. Or when we're slumping back like this, saying, oh, I'm so relaxed. That's what we don't want. That is not an active way to sit. So when I look at my stance here in Sitting Mountain, you could see that I have the lower part of the body, and these are actively engaged. And from the torso up, we want to feel relaxed, because this is where the breath is flowing through, and then it's going to all our extremities. Now, in addition, I do have Kleenex. Now, that's up to you if you have them or not. And I also have warm water here. I find sometimes my throat gets dry, so I also have this. Because remember, this is your practice. You want to feel good or safe in your environment. The environment is very important. If you notice, I have very little surrounding me. Okay? But that's the way I prefer it. Sometimes people may have plants around or whatever, and that's fine. So now we're going to start, after the Sitting Mountain, the foundation, we're going to go with an intention, and we're going to go back to the intention of focusing and centering. So I will say the intention, and then we're going to go through a nice, gentle breath or breathing movement. So the intention, and I'll say it out loud 3 times, and then you could join me. You could say it out loud or you may whisper it. I will focus and center myself during this practice. I will focus and center myself during this practice. I will focus and center myself during this practice. Now, to begin with the centering, we're going to start with a breath, but again, come back into Sitting Mountain, feet comfortably grounded on the ground in front of you or your floor. Let's open that chest by taking those shoulders and bring them forward up to the ears and open the chest. Now your hands can either remain comfortably on your thighs, or if you're more comfortable, you can place them palms facing up, or you can place it across your chest, whatever you prefer. Now, for our breath work today, as you're sitting comfortably, the only thing you're going to do is breathe naturally. Don't worry about counting. Don't worry about anything. I am going to ask you, though, if you're comfortable with it, to close your eyes. Now, if you prefer to keep them open, that's fine. But close your eyes and come inside. Let your mind's eye come inside your internal body. And notice your chest expanding and contracting with each breath. So you're simply going to inhale and exhale. And I will count for approximately a minute. So just completely inhale and exhale. Nice full breath. Now begin to take your last full breath, inhaling and exhaling. And if your eyes were closed, please open them. And just scan. How do you feel? Just be aware of that connection with your breath, that feeling of centering, that feeling of focusing. With the focusing, it keeps our attention in the moment and also to become more mindful. Now, next, we're going to move into some warm-ups. So again, I'm going to invite you to take your feet and just, if you can and you're comfortable with it, just allow them to stretch out. And your hands, and you're going to make circles with the ankles and then circles at the wrists. Now, this is very good, this movement for our joints. Now, remember, as we age, we want to be able to have functionality. So it's nice when we're able to open a jar or open a bottle without feeling any pain or uncomfortability. So that's why it's so important to begin to move all parts of our body. Sometimes every single day, we may do it a few times each day. Beautiful. Now I'm going to ask you to lower the feet, and we're going to do some finger moves. And the finger moves are just moving each of the fingers, and if you can, move your toes also. And feel any sensations. As we say, get to know your fingers, get to know your toes. They all play very important functions in our body. And then you're going to extend your arms out and bring the feet, so the soles of the feet are parallel to the floor. Now, if you feel like your balance is off, just keep your feet, the soles of the feet on the mat or on the floor in front of you. Arms, if you can, extend them. Now, if you do not have, let's say you're missing some of your appendages, then visualize what we're doing in your mind's eye. Visualization is very important, and it serves a definite purpose. So let's begin. Fingers, hands out. Soles of the feet, if you can, lift them slightly off the ground. That's great. But if not, keep them on the ground. And then you're going to stretch the fingers up. So the tips of the fingers are up towards the ceiling and the toes. And let's do that, moving in different directions. I once read there's close to 26 bones in the feet. And I'm like, wow, we never realize until something happens where maybe, I know this lady, she shattered her ankle by just simply crossing a street and coming off of a curb. So who knows? That's why we have to be very mindful of every move we make, because we want no ouches, hopefully no surgeries if possible. We want to keep the body as limber as possible and also being able to move it. Okay, now this also, so you know, builds bone density and strength. Now, if you get tired, just simply take care of yourselves, bring the feet back down to the mat. So if I continue to do it and you feel that you're tired or you just need to take care of yourself and you need to stop, that is what you do. When we go back to the focus, the centering, this practice is for you. And if you have any uncomfortability, you do not do it. Okay? Self-love, self-care. Now, moving on, I'm going to invite you to take your hands and just kind of slide them to the top of the thighs and just hold on, if you can, to your hands and intertwine the fingers. And let's make circles with our hands, the wrists. This also builds strength and bone density. And reverse. And then we're going to come back up and we're going to shake out the hands, shake out the feet, and shake the whole body. Okay? You can get everything involved with this. Okay? If you're comfortable on the chair, moving a little bit back and forth. Now, sometimes our lower back, the lumbar and the coccyx gets a little bit tight. So now we may want to move in circular motions. So bring the feet back down and let's move. So we're doing a spinal movement. Feel those sits bones grounding in our chair. Nice. And now let's reverse. And then we're going to do a little twist, okay? So what I'd like you to do is to take the right hand and place it on the left thigh, and then just take that left hand and look around. Feel the stretch. So you're inhaling in the center, and then exhale as you come around, and pretend there's a piece of dust on your shoulder, and blow it out. And then back. Now I just felt my spine, my vertebrae was opening up when I did that. So you may find the same thing. So inhale through center and then exhale as you come around and blow that piece of dust on your right shoulder. Beautiful. Let's do that again. We'll do 3 times each side, connecting the breath with the movement. So inhale through the center, exhale coming around. Let's blow that dust off of our shoulder. Now this time, let's take a few full breaths, 3 full breaths as we look over our left shoulder. Nice full breath. And then exhale, come back to center. And again, left hand on right knee, come back around. Oh, open up. Feel the vertebrae just opening up, separating each of the discs. Blow out. And let's inhale and exhale 3 times. Now on the exhalation, if you can move just a little bit farther into the stretch and you feel a wonderful opening, that's okay. And then back around, and one more time. Right hand on left knee. Again, inhale, exhale, come back around. 3 full breaths. And then back around. One more time on the other side. Beautiful. And back to center. And now moving on for some warm-ups. Let's just take the chin and bring it down to the chest. And then back up. Look only as far as the wall meets the ceiling. And then back down. Connecting again the breath with the movement. And then take the chin, look over the right shoulder, just as far as you can move it. I can only go approximately this far because I want no ouches. Again, it's my neck. With the arthritis, I can only go so far. I could inhale though and exhale, and then I can go a little bit further if I'm mindful and I'm focused. Then back around and inhale, the opposite. Exhale, coming around. Now you may notice, as I do, the left side of the body and the right side. One side usually feels easier to move. I have more full range of motion. And you may find the same thing. And one more time, inhale and exhale. And back. And the opposite side, inhale, exhale. Great. Beautiful. Now I'm going to invite you to stretch out the arms. Okay, have the hands parallel to the floor beneath you. And if you can, just slightly stretch over the right side, fingers kind of facing down towards the mat, and then back again, almost like you're an airplane. Your wings are soaring, and you'll feel a nice stretching through your side body. So it's the exhalation. You could feel that nice, beautiful stretch. We're moving our spine in different ways, right? We did the spinal twist. Now we're doing side to side. And now we're going to move into cat-cow. So just stretch forward. Oh, yes. And then come back. You can feel the spine moving in a different direction. So it's the 6 movements of the spine. And forward is 1 and back is 2. So do the cat-cow however it feels right. You can also sink your sits bones, oh yes, right into your seat beneath you. Beautiful. All righty. So let's shake out again our hands, shake out the body. Okay, we can move it. Just let it go. However feels good. Get it all moving. Okay. Beautiful. Now if you can raise them up, that's great. Whatever you need to do. Okay. Now we're going to move into the postures or the asanas. I'm going to show you again different levels depending upon where you are at. And only you know. You only go as far as it's comfortable. You want maybe a little bit of stretch with the breath, but that's it. No ouches, as I always say. Okay? Because we want to always be secure and safe and no injuries. Okay. Now, soles of the feet on the mat. And we're going to move into what we call the figure 4. Now, this really opens up the hips. So, if you were on the base level, you're going to take the right foot and just place it over the left. And this would be figure 4, the foundation. Now, as far as the hands, you can place them crisscross, or you could just place them on your chest or leave them on your lap. Again, whatever's comfortable. And you're going to breathe. Three breaths. Now, this is a very versatile movement. It's also going to open up the hips. So the next level would be you're going to take that right foot and place it or cross it over the kneecap, as long as you have no problems with the knee. And maybe this time with the hands, instead of placing across, we're simply going to begin to cross the right arm under the left. That's all you have to do. And you can place the palms right up against your shoulders. So what we're doing is we're combining the figure 4 on our lower body, and we're going to do the eagle pose on our upper body. And breathe. You can feel the opening of the hip. Beautiful, and relax. Now, the third level, you may use, as I am going to, my strap. But however, again, you may not have the strap. So what you can do is just pull on your sock or your trouser and bring the right foot as high up as you comfortably can on the thigh. Now, if you have a strap like I do, I simply can take this and just help to get my foot up on that thigh if it's comfortable, and I can feel the opening of my hip. And that's the synovial fluid begins to move and rotate. Those hips need to be moved and rotated. It opens the hips. Now, if you don't have this or a strap, and let's say you have shorts on so there's nothing to pull, then what you could do is simply not use any of these, but you can simply help with both hands to stretch up. Okay, but only go as far, again, as no ouches. And then if you're able, we're going to go to a full eagle and stretch. 3 full breaths. And then exhale and allow the arms to unwrap and the right leg to come back down to the mat. And then let's center ourselves again in the sitting mountain, the foundation pose. And now we're going to do the opposite side. So again, level 1, just cross over the left foot to the right. And wherever you're at, you may simply want to touch your chest, or you may want to just crisscross and breathe. 3 full breaths. Now, the adaptability of chair yoga, it's so flexible. It is wonderful because let's say your upper body is very flexible, okay, and you're able to do quite a bit with your extensions and your contractions with the upper body, but maybe the lower body isn't. You may be in a wheelchair, or maybe you don't have movements, or maybe no appendages. Then you do what you can do using the upper body, and then you can use the visualization for the lower body if you choose. Okay? Okay, and then undo. And now the next one is you're simply going to take that left foot, and if you need again, the prop, I could take this and place it on the sole of my foot, and I'm just going to extend it just a little bit. And I may want to hold this to give my foot and my thigh and my leg support. And of course, you wouldn't be able to do the upper body if you were going to hold on to your strap or your pants, whatever. Okay. And now the next one would be with the eagle, you can just wrap left under right or right under left. So we'll do it left under right. And breathe. And on the exhalation, undo. And then if you are on level 3 and you feel that you can do this, and you have a lot of flexibility in your lower body. And you're going to take that left leg, you're going to bring the sole of the left foot and bring it as high up as you can. You can again feel the opening of the hip bones. And then we're going to do a nice full eagle, stretch. Feel again the opening of the back, the shoulder blades, and breathe. And inhale and exhale. Now, for those of you that have a very large chest, what you can do is simply hug yourself. So left hand on right shoulder and right on left, and give yourself a nice big hug. And that will feel very nice. Okay, and come undone. And now we're going to do some spinal movements. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply move as far down to the opposite side as we can in the spinal movement. So we're going to take the left hand and inhale, and if you can, stretch up and ride and open up the side body. Now, if you'd like, you can hold on to your chair for more security on the side, which is what I'm going to do. Breathe 3 full breaths. And then exhale, coming back down. And now the opposite. Inhale, stretch up and over, opening the side body of the right, and breathe. And again, connecting the breath with the movement. And you can go at your own pace. You may want to go slower or whatever it is, or a little faster. But again, you're in charge. And get fit where you sit. One more time. Notice with the range of motion and the centering and the focusing, you really have to try to be in the moment. In this way, we're right with our movement and our feeling of certain sensations. And when we focus, we want to become aware of how we are feeling. Okay. Now, next, we're going to go again into the cat-cow. So simply bring the head kind of down, the chin towards the knees, and rise up. And then come back and bring that center of the belly in. And let's move. You can feel the spine moving like this in the cat-cow. Inhaling and exhaling. Feel a nice forward fold. So now you can feel this hinging forward and back. Feel especially some release. I can feel it in my lower back, my coccyx. It's a little sensitive there. So I begin to, well, the other thing I could do is take my fingers if I choose and just put a little pressure on that lower back and maybe do some rubbing in circular motions. And that feels to me so good, you know. So we can actually help our bodies by being aware of what we're feeling. And then maybe you could just rub that area, the lower back, or if you want, you can take your fists and just kind of tap in the back. It feels good, okay, to get some of the blood flowing, okay. Those of you that were here last week, we did some pinching around the knees, and that also gets the stimulation, the blood flowing. Okay, so there's different things we can do with the body to get the circulation moving. Okay, So for example, if I wanted to do this to my thighs, just to get everything going, or I wanted to awaken my thighs, that's all I need to do. Nice and easy. Okay, now we're going to move into a sun salutation, but we're going to do a very simple sun salutation. So we're going to begin, come back into that sitting mountain pose. Get those shoulder blades kissing together so we're opening the chest, leading with our heart. In the sun salutation, we're going to stretch up, inhale, and then slowly come down, forward. Slide, if you can, your fingers down to the ground. And then halfway lift, and then back again. Then inhale, stretch up, nice full extension. And bring the palms together and exhale. Now we're going to do the sun salutation basic rotation 3 times. And again, inhale, stretch up. Then come forward, fold. Now if you can only come this far, that's perfect. You can feel the elongation of the spine. And then slide, if you can, the fingers down. Inhale, exhale, and then slowly come halfway up and then back. Slide up. Inhale, stretch up. Palms together, center of chest. And one more time, elongate the spine. Inhale, stretch up. Come down, bring those fingers, if you can, right down the front of the body. Allow the head to hinge. And then if you can, slowly slide the fingers up, halfway lift, and then back down. In a nice full breath, inhale, stretch, 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 stretch. Inhale fully. Palms together, back to the center. Now from there, first of all, if you realize we didn't do any of the planks or chaturanga, okay? So for this sun salutation today, we're not going to do any of the planks, okay? Even though we can do it, I'll show you hopefully next week a plank. So how you would do the sun salutation and do the plank right in our chairs, okay? All righty. Now next, we're going to move right into warrior one. So I'm going to, because I have no arms, now if you have arms on your chair or you're in a wheelchair, you can do the warrior one from the front of your chair. But I'm going to kind of walk my feet to the right side of my chair. And for warrior one, for level one, I'm just going to slide slightly my right leg back. So my toes are just kind of on the mat if that's possible. Now you may want to use a block here, and that's again perfectly fine. So you take your block and you're going to support your knee, okay, and your side body. Now for warrior one, level one, you may be able to raise your arms up, but if not, just place them if you can comfortably, if you could, on your shoulders. Or you could just hold them on your chest, whatever's comfortable, and breathe. Nice full breath in warrior one. Remember the strong warrior. Now you may be at level 2, so then you could remove the block from the knee and just slide it a little bit farther back, slightly. And instead of keeping the hands on the chest, you may want to basically open them up and maybe bring them just out in front and come back, slightly arching the back. And breathe. Beautiful. And then if we have the full extension, the leg can go all the way back. You feel the stretch for the front of the thigh, and maybe your arms can raise up towards the ceiling, opening the chest, and breathe into the full extended warrior. And breathe. 3 full breaths. Now inhale and slowly bring the arms back down, very secure and cautiously. Hold on to the chair, sliding that right leg to meet the left, and walk the body over to the opposite side. So now we're going to do the same thing on our other side. Remember, always yoga means union. So what we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. So again, find that security. You want to be safe on your chair. And then maybe for the warrior, you're simply going to take that left leg and just bend it slightly back. And maybe your arms can go full extension or maybe not. Just place them where it's comfortable or keep them right on your belly, chest, thighs. And breathe 3 full breaths. Now you may be on level 2, so you're going to take that left leg and maybe you need the support of your block. Allow your knee to rest comfortably on the block. And wherever your arms are, whether it be here, maybe full extension in front, and breathe. Warrior 1. Coming back to our intention, I will focus. I will center. And with each breath, you're focusing and centering. 3 full breaths. Beautiful. Level 3, we can remove the block. And if you're able to extend that left leg back, beautiful. And if not, no worries. Be secure on your chair and inhale, stretch up, open the chest and breathe fully. Three full breaths. Inhale and slowly lower the arms back down. And let's take that left leg and slide it forward. And then we're going to shimmy our bodies over to the center of our chair again. Very good. So we did a few different moves tonight. So we did the figure 4. That was one posture with the 3 levels. Then in addition, we did do the spinal movement, spinal twist, and then spine or cat-cow. Then we did a simple sun salutation moving right into warrior 1. So very good. So we did a few postures tonight. Now we're going to move into a cool down meditation. Well, let's just do a breath first. First, we'll do a cool down breath. And it's going to be simply a cleansing breath, okay? So for the cleansing breath, you're simply going to inhale through the nose. Nice full out through the mouth. We'll do this 3 times. Inhale. One more time. Inhale. Beautiful. Now, you may want to get your blanket. Again, totally up to you. But we're going to start where I'm going to invite you just to sit a little bit farther on your chair, but your back still is not touching the back of the chair, okay? Now I'm thinking of another option. You can take a block or a book or whatever and put it right there. So it's like my lower back, my coccyx and my sacrum is just kind of leaning against it. It actually feels very good because it's a hard surface, the block. And that always works for me. Now I'm going to bring your awareness to your face, okay? Now this is going to feel real good. So we're going to stretch. Sometimes we forget about our face, but we're going to stretch all the different muscles in the face, okay? So let's start with the vowels. We're going to do A, E, I, O, U. And you could either say it out loud or you could whisper it, however you'd like. But we're going to accentuate each one so we get the full facial stretch. Ready? Let's begin. A, E, I, O, U. Again. A, E, I, O, U. And one more time. A, E, I, O, U. Beautiful. And just feel. How does it feel? Now you could take a nice big smile and smile. Or you could pretend you're frowning. And again, so you can feel all the different muscles moving. Stretch and open. Great. It actually feels really good. Okay? And then if you'd like, you can take your fingers and just tap your forehead. You can tap a little bit around the cheeks and the eyes. And back down. In the chin, in the mouth, the upper mouth, and the nose. And maybe you want to do the neck. And you may even want to take your fingers and really rotate. This feels wonderful for me. My fingers are a little bit cold, and I'm rotating in circular motions my neck. And then I'm going to just kind of squeeze my clavicles here and just relax. Because I put a lot of tension on my back and my neck and my clavicle right there. And then stretch it and maybe make little circles, however you'd like to do it. Okay. Checking to be sure my mic is still on. Okay, everyone, now we're going to do a scan, and this will be our final time together this evening, the scan. So I'm going to ask you again, if you'd like, you can use your blanket, and you could wrap yourself in the blanket. And again, come into a position on your chair that you're feeling comfortable. So your legs may be engaged, your lower body sitting with the muscles engaged, and your upper body is relaxed. Soles of the feet are on the mat. Your sits bones are grounded on the chair. And if you feel safe and you feel like you're really balanced on the chair, close your eyes. Allow your eyelids to just close over your eyes. And just follow my voice. And if you can, visualize the area that I point out. So now we're going to center, come inside your physical body and your mind, and focus on the words. Bring your awareness to your toes, your left foot toes and your right foot, and then your heels on your left foot and your right. And then moving up, be aware of your ankles, your left ankle and your right ankles. Then bring the awareness up the legs. Actually visualize your mindfulness moving up the legs, the front and the back of the leg. And then notice your knees through your mind's eye. So visualize your knees. And then bringing your awareness, scanning your thighs, your left thigh and your right thigh. And then the back of your left leg and the back of your right leg. And bring the awareness to your belly, your lower belly, your solar plexus. This is your digestion, your energy. And you may want to just move your belly in and out, feeling any sensations. And then moving your awareness to your sits bones. And then your coccyx, your lower back, and your buttocks, left buttocks and right. And then riding up, bring the awareness to your rib cage. Notice your rib cage. It's being filled with oxygen, expanding and contracting the chest with the breath. All the wonderful oxygen. And then on each exhalation, how you're getting rid of the toxins. In that special breath we did, that cleansing breath, opening the mouth and cleansing and getting rid of those toxins. Then riding up, notice the spine, each vertebrae, each disc, opening and elongating or lengthening the spine. And breathe. Bringing the awareness to your front breast. And then right behind, right down from your neck, the shoulder blades. And in the front here, let's be aware of the clavicle, the sternum. And then our shoulders. Bring your awareness to your shoulders, visualize them. Feel the lungs expanding and contracting. And your heart is pumping. And then moving down to your left arm, to the elbow, and to the wrist, and then the right. From the shoulder down the arm on the right side, to the elbow, and then down to the wrist. And then bringing the awareness to the hands, to each of your fingers. And you may want to either visualize each of your fingers or actually you can move them. And then bring the awareness to the neck. All the areas of the neck. It's a very sensitive part. Lots of nerves in our neck. Lots of muscles. In the back of the neck, just bring the chin down just slightly so you feel the elongation of the back of the neck. And then your awareness back to your chin, to all the muscles in your face, your cheeks, and your lips, and your mouth, and your nose, and your eyes, your eyebrows. And then right in the middle of your eyebrows, begin to visualize a little spot there. The area of intuition, and then your forehead. And then bring the awareness to your right ear, and then to your left ear. And then bring your awareness to your full head, If you have hair on your head, visualize that. And if not, visualize your skull, your scalp. And inside there is that beautiful brain. And our brain weighs approximately 3.5 pounds. And tonight, with our breathing, our centering, and our focus, we have nourished our brain. And now just take a few breaths where you're at. Let's actually do 3 full breaths and then exhale. You can leave your eyes closed if you'd like. And then finally, one last one. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. Take notes. How do you feel? Any sensations coming through your physical or spiritual or mental body? And let's take our hands, palms together, and just rub them, warming up our hands. And then take the hands and just stretch them out slightly, bringing the palms back together, thumbs right in the middle of our chest. And come back to your intention and thank yourself for centering, for focusing, and being actively involved in the sequencing. So this is Anne. Thank you again for joining me and Yoga in Our City's virtual studio. Until next week, have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.